This is Jeremy Wilhelm. He's our CEO for Frontier, and he wants to say a few things, and then we'll get on our way. Thank you.
Just want to welcome everybody here, and glad to see everybody here. I'm actually on vacation today, so I'm not going to go on the tour with you. We're heading out a little bit, and I want to come and say hi. Just thank you for the business. Thank you for your support of Frontier Cooperative and Travis and the nutrition team. A lot of our interns are here today. Our interns, raise your hands. We've got 14 interns this summer, and they're all great interns. Most of them, no, they're all great. But again, it's part of our developing the next generation of ag leadership, and I'm just super impressed with. I would say 5 years ago, maybe even 10 years ago, I would say I'm not impressed with the youth, but I am impressed with the youth today that's coming through the schools and coming even through the high schools. It's just impressive, and our support of FFA and leadership development that they're doing through that organization is just, we love it. And we sit there and we look at grain, agronomy, energy, feed. Feed's probably one of the lower percentages, but I do think there's going to be a lot of opportunities in the nutrition business and the feed business and the livestock business coming at our way. And some of you old timers, realize that there was a lot of livestock that purchased a lot of acres of land back in the day. And I think with renewable diesel coming along and all these soybean crushing plants, there's going to be some cheap protein out there. I think it's going to be an opportunity for increasing livestock and have some good margins in livestock in the years to come. We used to crush soybeans for the oil or for the meal, and the oil was kind of a byproduct. With renewable diesel, which is, to me, honestly, it's very different than biodiesel. It's a much better product. It's going to be a game changer, and now they're building these plants for the oil, and essentially the meal is going to be the byproduct. And so I just encourage everybody, keep an eye on that. It's going to be an opportunity for livestock, just protein, cheap sources of protein. I just soon grow the livestock here than ship the meal overseas and grow the livestock overseas and then import it back. To me, that doesn't make any sense. So just wanted to keep it short. Appreciate your business and thank you for all you do. And you know what, if we can get rain, we're going to hold these every week in the month of July. So, thanks everyone.
We are at Miller Feedlot, south of Tecumseh. This is the first stop on the Nutrition Summer Series cattle tour. Steve Miller and his girlfriend Marie put up this WIC building. They started on it in February. We are putting the final touches on now. He's got to pour the aprons and stuff like that. But with this building the size that it is, he's going to be able to feed out upwards towards 600 head of feeder calves if he chooses to. There's 3 runs on the east side of this building that work great for calving cows. In the southwest corner, he's able to buy feedlot cattle from the sale barn, put them in a holding pen for 3 days to get the sickness or any stress out of them. With a building like this, there's 100 different options that a guy could do with a building like this. Steve has been a great customer of Frontiers and a customer of mine for years. I helped Steve do his rations for his feedlot calves and stuff like that. So this is the first stop on the cattle tour, and Steve he's going to tell you kind of what he plans to do with this thing, and then his girlfriend Marie, she's with WIC Buildings. She has some pamphlets and flyers to hand out too. They make those WIC buildings. You can do anything with them now. So I'm going to turn it over to Steve. Like I said, there's refreshments in the cooler. If you want them, go ahead. But thank you, Steve. I appreciate it.
Beach. First off, thanks for coming. Appreciate it. If you got any questions, just jump right in, fire away. The building is designed for any aspect of the cattle operations, from cow-calf, from weaning, finishing. That's kind of the way we designed it, so we can do whatever the market calls for at the time. We'll have 3 runs set up on the east side. It goes down to the creek. Of course, you gotta stay out of the creek to keep the DEQ happy. The automatic waters will be down there at the bottom. Center of the building, there'll be a 12 to 14 foot alleyway with feed bunks on both sides of it. So you can come down one side and feed, turn around and come back to the other side and feed. This corner will be set up for a tub, squeeze chute, all that kind of stuff you need for working cattle and everything. On this side of that, we'll put one of the little, see these little huts up here by Bull now, little outdoor shacks. We're gonna put one of them in here, store all the vaccines. If you need to heat areas, any of that kind of stuff, we'll keep in there. The main part of the building is 60 by 190 with a 24-foot lean on it, and then the concrete permacolumns to keep from rotting away with manure and everything. All the manure will be handled with skid steer. We use bedding because we got easy access to get rid of it.
Family-owned company, they are on top of things, they stay up with the industry. A huge part of what I do now are the shouses. I've built a lot of them, where it's a big trend in the housing market now. And a lot of the reason is because everybody now likes the open type floor plans, which is very conducive to our type of construction.
We are going to Stone Point Cattle Company next. Stone Point is Colton Sharp from Table Rock. Colton bought 800 cows or invested in 800 cows with Dixie Valley Angus from Montauk, California. There's 200 of those cows over here right now. When we go to Stone Point, we're going to be looking at a handful of the donor cows that there's a couple of those donor cows in there that have produced over $1 million a piece and progeny. There's going to be 5 or 6 herd bulls out there that they each were purchased for anywhere to $225,000 to $275,000 a piece. So there's a lot of high quality genetics over there that we're going to go look at. So we bought him with Dixie Valley Angus from Montauk, California. He just had a sale at Hartman's place end of the first week in June, and on 65 lots they averaged, what'd you say?
7,200.
So he's going to talk a little bit here, and then the cows are back up over the hill. So we've got drinks to get and some beef sticks and hats. Colton's going to tie. I guess in your hands is the numbers and EPDs on the cattle that are here in this pasture right now. Like we talked about earlier, there's some pretty good herd bulls or some bulls out here too. So we'll talk here and then we'll jump in and we'll just kind of drive around and we'll go take a look at them. But I'm going to turn it over to Colton. If you guys give him a hand would be great, and we'll get going from there.
Thanks, Travis. Like you said, Colton with Stone Point, Dixie Valley, partner herd in Montague, California. We're still in a transition phase with all of this, so our total herd together, we're about 600 head of registered cows, and then we run somewhere around 200 to 300 recips, depending on the year. Kind of our big focus here is definitely the carcass merit of cattle. We're pushing for prime carcasses, things along that. We like our cattle when they're finished and done to be somewhere around that 14.5 to 1,500 pounds. In your packets that you'll see here today, the white sheet is all the cattle in this pasture here, which includes our new bull Poss Pendleton, which we just acquired this spring. There's another bull out here, Spring Cove Full Tilt. He's a feed son, which is the first feed son to ever be sold at public auction. As well as some of our donors like the BO82 cow, who's produced just a little over $1 million in progeny, the C775 cow, GO41, which is a maternal sib to Keneally Confidence Plus. She's one of 2 ever made. I try to keep it short and sweet. When we go out and see cattle, if you have any questions or something you can't find in your packet, don't be afraid to ask. As you go through the book that you have, you'll see a lot of the donors, and corresponding cows of the calves that we just sold this last spring. So.
Successful day. We met here at Hartman Cattle Company. From there we went south to Miller Feedlot. Steve and Maria Miller, they started, he put up a humongous machine shed that they're gonna feed out cattle in, or cow-calf. Like we stated earlier, you can do 100 different things with that. From there, we went to Stone Point Cattle Company, north of Tabor Rock. Colton Shart, owner-operator of that deal, bought in with Dixie Valley Angus. There was 600 registered Angus cows, 200 commercial cows that are around there. They're coming back into Nebraska. We stopped there. We brought up the cows from the pond. People looked at them. He had $2 million progeny cows in there. The Pendleton bull that they bought for over $200 some thousand. We hung out there for a while. The last stop of the day was at Mike Bredemeyer with Bredemeyer Angus. And like I've stated before, and I'll say it again, that is probably one of the best cow herds in southeast Nebraska, or the Midwest for that matter. Mike sails the first week in March every Wednesday there. And he did an amazing job. And after that, we came back to Hartman Cattle Company. We grilled out ribeyes and we're enjoying the evening. For the first kickoff nutrition summer series that we had, it couldn't have went any better. It always goes better too when it rains 2 inches a couple days before that. So all in all, it was a great day, great opportunity for Frontier. I guess I should put this morning before we left, our CEO Jeremy Wilhelm came and he did the opening speech and talked about how much that our customers' business means to this company. You know, without these guys, we wouldn't be able to do this. But yes, all in all, it was a fantastic day. Like I said, I want to thank everybody for coming. It was a great day.